So I'm going to try to give a quick review of the movie 65. Firstly, let's look at what's on paper. I mean, you got Adam Driver, my introduction to Adam Driver was the TV show Girls. I didn't know who this guy was, but I thought he was excellent. And he went from there. And yeah, so some people are like, you watch Girls? Yeah, I watch a lot of different things. And Girls was interesting to me. So I watched it. Overall, I like the show. I had some critiques on it, but overall, I actually thought the show was a pretty decent show. But he was definitely a standout for me. I like Adam Driver. I think he's awesome. So I was already sold with him, right? Then you have space stuff. Cool. I love survival horror things. Then you have dinosaurs. I'm like, what? But now in retrospect, they could have probably played this up where they could have been, and sorry if you hear the humming, I got my heater thing running. They could have probably did, 65 passengers, something like that, and revealed some things, and maybe showed one set of things, and then led it to dinosaurs, and kind of kept that as like a big reveal. But it's okay. With the movie, I thought it was going to be a little bit more action or things like that, so I was like, oh, okay, you want to preface this that it's on Earth 65. That could be interesting in itself. So that's the direction you went. But you could have went in the direction because there's a few dinosaurs in here that I didn't recognize that were kind of odd. Like they looked like a type of dinosaur, but they didn't at the same time. And they could have also played with that and said, hey, we have 65 passengers and do this. So I'm going to start with what I did like on the film. The visuals were good. The CG was very well done. I like the dinosaurs. Like, the dinosaurs looked great. Adam Driver's performance was not bad. Actually, that was fine. And, like I said, the visuals, cinematography, that stuff was good. I wasn't a big fan of the musical score, and I'm usually not a person that points that out, but if it was kind of out of place sometimes, and if I notice it, then I know it's bad for other people, because to me, music does help the scene. But I've also liked films where there was no music in the scene. But like Watchmen had some very out of place music to give a comparison. The only good song that matched was when they had the death of someone at a funeral, and it had "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend." That scene, that was perfect. Everything else in the music on Watchmen is terrible. So it's like that. Now, this movie reminded me of After Earth, but After Earth was more interesting. With how they handle things. I'm not a person who sits there and says, it was garbage. I don't actually agree with that at all. I think that movie was actually okay. I think it just had a lot of issues. And this movie's kind of the same thing. Like, to give you a premise, Miles is going through the typical, I'm the everyday man, hero, blah, 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 blah. Let's give this story. And I'm like, there's a story that I was working on where a guy is put into a situation, but he doesn't really have like a mega bad backstory. Like it's kind of one of those things now starting to become a little too tropey, I guess you could say. And it was like the situation was here, he's here. You see the girl, she's the survivor. Then as you start to watch it, it's like, okay, this feels like you guys got inspired by like Last of Us or these things, but you took the wrong cues. Now, is there some deep things in it? Yeah. I actually thought the action was pretty good, by the way. But funny as this is about the sound, I think this movie would have been better as a video game. He has, like, the cool space weapons, like the gun, that looks like a video game kind of gun. Like, it would be something you might have seen on, like, Halo or something like that. Or Anthem. Whatever. There's a situation with what they're dealing with, and there felt like there was like boss checkpoints, if I can say that. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Like, they would deal with a situation, and then there was something there, and then you see in the hologram, there's a situation dealing with his family and why he connects with this girl. It also felt like they were trying to, well, they're not saying they did this, but it also felt a little bit like Primal, but Primal also did it better. And the problem was that it had a lot of this like walking thing, and then there was like dangers, and the dangers were there. It wasn't. It should have been fleshed out more. It wasn't as interesting as it could have been or executed, and it kind of slogged along. Is it the most horrible thing ever? No. Like I said, the dinosaurs were awesome. When they got to an action sequence, yeah. But even one of the final fights felt like a final boss fight. Like, this thing, I think, actually would have been a better video game. And that's weird for me to say that. Not even a TV show, a video game, because you could have put certain things in there, and it would have had it. Now, they had to get to the rescue ship. He, like, has his journey. She has her journey. He has to find himself. The interpersonal conflict of himself and his demons, in retrospect, was good, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. So, because of this, there was a lot of, I feel like, lull points that didn't need to be in there. And it did drag the movie down for me. Where it was good, it was good. Trying to keep this spoiler free, but there was like a situation with him and the girl. And I think one of the issues is we've seen this story before, but done a little better with a little bit more oomph. Like I said, I don't think the movie is horrendous, but there's some stuff where it gave me some After Earth vibes. And I think the biggest issue I have is that between the director, people that worked on A Quiet Place, maybe what they could have did was they could have possibly buried the lead and had it where it's like, 65 people on that boat. Oh, it's some weird creatures on here. And then do the big reveal that, oh, shoot, it's Earth. But there were some improbables that was in this that I was like, really? And it was very straightforward. But like I said, there were some improbable certain things where it's kind of like, all right, you guys are pushing it a little bit. And it showed. I feel like if someone executed this and reworked it, even how they did the one of the big battles, it literally was like a boss fight. Oh, you have to do this and get them to do this to do that kind of thing. You can't just straight up beat it. And there was just some at the last minute kind of moments, look what happened kind of things. And there were some predictability there. And I feel like there was even how they ended it, there were some things that could have been explored about why and how Earth did it. And there's ideas and things I could have and I theorized on. But the movie in itself and what happened and then what was going to happen after the asteroid hit them, it just felt, if this was like a streaming movie, I think it would have been better. Like, it just felt like it was underwhelming. What they had there, it could have been so much more. And for what they did, it wasn't terrible. But there was a lot of lull that they could have tightened that up and just kind of really kicked it in, especially when it felt a little bit like it could have been action and stuff, but it's like a survival, and it's just like it was missing something. And if I could go into details, I would tell you what I feel is missing. But when you watch it, it feels like it's lacking something that if they took that extra little bit more, just the little bit further, I think the movie would have kicked over pretty well. So with that, that's the best I could do without really giving you a spoiler, like any deep spoilers. Also, his relationship with the girl was all right, but then there was kind of some tropes with that, and it was like, really? We're going to go down that road? So yeah, you got that too. After thinking about it for about a day after seeing it, because at first I really had some issues with the movie. So then I kind of had to sit back and think about it. There are stuff I liked, but I think I'm still going to say that this was a sinking ship. Like I said, visuals was great. The dinosaurs were awesome. The gear was cool, even though sometimes it got a little clunky. Which was weird how certain things just did everything. Like, there was stuff in this movie that was good, but I felt like it was dragging. Now, maybe if I see it a second time, at some point in time, maybe I'll get like a better feel for it because I know what to expect. I've had that happen before. But for an outing, it was sluggish. And there was just things where it's like, really? Like, we've seen this before and we've seen it done better. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say for an Adam Driver movie, and acting was good, it's a sinking ship. Uh, I could sit down and probably watch it again. Like I said, for some people, it might be really good. The stuff, like I said, they did good. They did really good. But that's the best I could do for it, personally. I just think it would be a sinking ship. All right, Geek Protagonists, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real. And I'll see you.